This is Lisa, and I'm here to show you how to create a session in Blackboard, as well as create multiple sessions so they repeat. So in order to set up a session, we're going to go to Communication, and then Blackboard Collaborate. Once in the Collaborate window, you're going to select Session, Create Session over here at on the left. In the Create Session window, the first thing you have to do is give it a name. So we're going to just name this Lecture. Then under Lecture, we want to select Guest Access because we want to be able to provide a link for our students to be able to come into the classroom or the session. Once you select Guest Access, you want to select Guest Role. And here, if it's for students only, you want to leave it as participant. If this is for other instructors, a department meeting, other employees that may need to present things, you can have those people enter as presenters so they will be able to share content. Or you can even have everyone enter as a moderator so they can see all of the roster and what people are doing, all of the chats, those sorts of things. When it comes to students, it's recommended that you list them as only a participant. If during the class session in Collaborate you want to allow them to present something, you can change their status right there during class. So leave them as a participant for now, and if you change your mind later, you can always make that decision or make that change during class. Once you have guest access selected, you now have your guest link. If you want to copy this, you would just select these two squares here, click on the squares, use Control-C to make a copy of the guest link, and then you can embed that link into your D2L course shell. Now we need to select our event details. I'm going to select class for tomorrow. Let's say I have class on Thursdays. So I'm going to select class tomorrow. I'm then going to come in here and change my class time. So we'll make this 8 a.m. A god-awful hour for class, but some people like that. So 8 a.m. And then it's going to end on the same day. It's an hour and 20 minutes, so I change my time here. And I leave it as a.m. So now my session is open from 8 to 9:20 a.m. If I am in class and I go past 9:20, Blackboard is not going, Collaborate is not going to kick you out. This is just what you have scheduled. It will continue to run if your class runs over. So don't think that you have to be out by 9:20. It'll continue. It won't kick you out. If you want to repeat this session, we'll go over that in a few minutes. We can look at that. If you want to allow students to enter, which is suggested you do, you allow them about 15 minutes. You can give them as much time as you want, up to an hour. 15 minutes is usually good enough. If you want to open it ahead of time, some faculty like to go into the class maybe an hour or so before class to upload PowerPoints or documents or maybe prepare things or practice. If you want to do that, I suggest that you select these 60 minutes before start time so that you can get in there ahead of time. The session is not started yet, so a lot of students won't be in there, but you'll be able to get in there and upload your documents and kind of get yourself prepared so when it comes time to teach in the classroom, everything's already all done. If you want to provide a description of this is a good place if you're doing repeating sessions or you want to just provide a brief description. I teach biology, so let's just say this is my lecture on evolution. So I have a description of it and I know what lecture content was covered. In the session settings, you can select session settings. You can make some changes to what happens when people come in. You can allow students to download the recording if you want to. I just embed mine in D2L. Most students don't want to download them, so I just leave that alone. You can anonymize the chat room so that students can't see who is asking what. I don't normally do that because I like to be able to see which student is sending me a question so I can speak with them. I don't record my Collaborate classroom sessions. I do use Collaborate sometimes to record lectures, but with no students in it. And that is to keep in compliance with our FERPA rules. Then we have what participants can share. So participants are your students. If you want your students to be able to use their microphones and videos, you would leave these checked. If you don't want them using video, that can sometimes slow down a classroom. You can deselect that. I like to see my students at the beginning of class. We all kind of put our video cameras on and say hello, make sure they're real people, and then usually most people turn that off. You can turn off the chat room if you want to. You can also prevent students from being able to draw or participate in lectures. When giving a lecture, when you are sharing a document or sharing the whiteboard, you have draw abilities. You can use a pen and change colors and erase and those sorts of things, and you can draw and annotate on those documents or on the whiteboard. Students are also capable of doing that as a participant. So if you want them to engage in the whiteboard and maybe write something on there or answer it, you want to leave this checked. But if you don't want them having those tools available, you can turn that off. There are settings inside of the session if you change your mind during class that you can go in and turn that back on for them. Over here, I don't like students to have private chats, so I moderate all chats. But if you don't want to do that, you don't want to be a part of that, you don't have to. You can just leave that turned off. Now, we'll save this, and so now we have our lecture. You can see right here on the left, here is our lecture. It is scheduled for tomorrow at 8 a.m. I can't enter this. If students were to come here and click on it, they can't enter it. There's no enter here because they can't, it's not open yet. It won't open for entry until 1 hour before then. So save that. Now let's look at how to set up a repeating session. So let's say my class meets every Thursday at 8 a.m. Instead of just going in and creating and doing all of this for every single session through the end of the term, I can come in here and I can change this to a repeat session. So I come down here just below my dates where it says repeat session, I select repeat. I want to repeat this every week. If my class is on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to repeat this every Tuesday and Thursday. The letters or the days that are in green are the days that it will repeat. I'm going to repeat this every week. And when it says end after occurrences or end on date, you can select end on date. That's just a little easier. Select the end of the term. I'm going to come over here. I think it's June 25th, but I'm not sure. So we can select the end of the summer session 2 term. Now when I select save, I have my lecture here, and below it says recurring. If I want to see all of those recurrences, I just select this down arrow, and it now has set up all of those recurrences for me. I can now go in by date. So here's tomorrow's lecture. Here's next Tuesday, Thursday, the following Tuesday, and Thursday. So it has set up all of my lectures throughout the end of the term. I can go over here, and if I want to change the name or something, I can't really do that. I will just save it for now. Let's see if we can edit any details. Yes, we can't really edit the details here. So it's just going to say lecture. And you can, of course, delete one if you want to. You can, of course, change the dates if you need to as well. Once you have recorded your session, when you go into your recordings, if you've recorded your session, you can go into your recordings and you can change the name of the session there. To access recordings, you use these 3 bars right here. Select recordings, and then you would find a list of your recordings here. There will be 3 dots and a circle over here. On the right, you would click on that, and that would give you the option to change the name. It will not change the dates on the lecture, but you can change the name so that you can you know what lecture you are giving when. So remember, if you want to see all of the sessions, you simply hit the down arrow. The reason for individual sessions, instead of just using the same session all of the time, in using individual sessions, you're capable of taking attendance. D2L will Collaborate will actually allow you to take attendance. So you go to all previous sessions, and you would look at over here the 3 dots, view reports, view report again, and it will give you a list of the people that were in the room. This was a training session, there was no one in it, but it'll give you a list of everybody that was in that session and how many times they entered and left, those sorts of things. So I hope you can just X out here. So I hope this showed you how to create an individual session and also how to create repeating sessions so you don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Good luck and have fun in class.